Welcome to Mike Ferry TV. It's the week of April 18th. Sabrina and I are in Europe. We're doing our superstar retreat in Sorrento, Italy. We have an enormous crowd. It's a great bunch. I hope someday all of you get to experience this. We have people from 6 or 7 different countries in Sorrento, Italy during this retreat. Our partner, Tiziano Benvenuti, has again done a fabulous job getting people together. Thank you for being here and thank you for watching. All right. About 2 months ago, I wrote a little report that never got circulated because I, for some reason, forgot to send it out. And I put it in my briefcase, and I then found it on one of our many airplane trips over the last month. And the report I wrote was called The 5 Types of Coaching Philosophies. And I want to share what I wrote in this report because I think it's important. Now, I started the report by writing in capital letters the words mass confusion. Mass confusion is the best way to explain the majority of what's going on in our industry today. What do I mean by mass confusion? The longer I stay in this profession, it's been over 40 years for goodness sakes, the more I interact with great brokers and agents like yourselves, the more I read, listen to, and try to stay up with all the different companies doing training and coaching, the more confusing I become and the more confusing you have to become. Whether you're a veteran with minimal production, a superstar at high numbers and high profits, a new licensee in the business today, it simply has to be confusing as to what direction to take. Now, don't get mad. I wrote in this report, the brokerage industry in most cases will not take a stand on reducing the confusion. Why? Because the brokers want to keep everybody happy. I understand that. What I want to try to do in this short report is unconfuse those of you that have an interest in being involved in coaching. You know, I sat through a webinar recently, and the webinar leader, a real estate quote-unquote coach, gave some advice to the audience which was fascinating to me. It's, I guess, a newer coaching company. And one of the things he said on the webinar is, do not call on for sale owners and expireds. And then he said, if you're going to prospect, go to doors in apartment buildings and show them the advantages of owning versus renting. Spend your time prospect and take a mortgage broker with you who can explain the advantages. Now, you know, talk about confusing. So what we've tried to do is unconfuse you. Now, if I give you my perspective, you have to understand, it's my perspective. You have a right to yours, I have a right to mine. I have a lot of experience in this particular venue called real estate coaching. Right now, I see 5 different coaching philosophies being taught throughout North America. All good, all successful, some bring better results than others. So the fact that I am considered and told to be the founder of real estate coaching, which we started in October 1988, in spite of what most of my competitors say they started before, they weren't even born before that time. They couldn't have been doing any coaching, for God's sakes. I would say to you that probably my biggest level of expertise in helping you sell more real estate is to say the following. A good majority of people in life will take the path of least resistance when choosing a road to follow. What is the easiest way for me to succeed as a real estate agent where I don't have to get my hands dirty and I don't have to sweat and I don't have to work hard? Now, darn it all. You're in a business where the opportunities are unlimited. There is no ceiling on your income. You know, there's no cement, there's no glass, there's nothing above you. The sky's the limit, depending upon your ability to learn what to say, what to do, and then take action every day. So if you really give this some thought, you'll see that I'm right. Most people take the path of least resistance, all right? So in saying that, it is easier to execute some business philosophies than others. So today I see 5 philosophies for you to follow. First, Brian Buffini out of, I think, San Diego. Very well-known coach and trainer. His work revolves around by referral only. This is very intriguing and a good sales philosophy to follow. Work with people that like, love, and trust you. Develop a strong relationship with your database. Add to the database a variety of techniques that Brian teaches. Personally, I think this makes a lot of sense, okay? And if you follow the teachings of the Mike Ferry Organization, this would be one of the top 10 methods we teach for helping a person learn to prospect. I wrote down Brian is obviously his program is very solid, brings lots of people a lot of great results, although personally I believe it is limiting if you follow that advice. but it's a good path to follow. Second, Tom Ferry, you recognize that name, my son. His approach is also very intriguing and very popular. Like Brian, Tom draws very enthusiastic crowds who are true believers in what he teaches. However, some of the points Tom sells to agents, I think, are designed around the path of least resistance. For example, holding an open house, geographic farming. It seems his real emphasis revolves around technology and all the great things technology can bring to a person. I agree with Tom. Technology is an important part of our business, but it's very limiting because selling is always going to revolve around listening carefully, people and communication with people. Technology is what I would call artificial communication because you're not looking people in the eyes, you're not talking to them. But those two philosophies work. Third would be a great salesperson out of the Greater Toronto area, Craig Proctor. I wrote down, again, Brian, Tom, and Craig draw big crowds, enthusiastic people, very specific messages, which I appreciate and sometimes find a little amusing. It seems Craig's message revolves around a lot of technology, meaning the use of Facebook, posting things on YouTube. It revolves around a lot of marketing, a lot of mailings, and everything seems to be in between. I've always believed that marketing plays a role in building a brand. However, most agents are not an organization, therefore you don't need a brand. It takes a lot of money to follow that philosophy. Next is the Keller Williams MAPS coaching philosophy. This is an interesting organization for a variety of reasons. I was recently talking to one of their brokers who is one of our EMG clients within our system. And he said something which I had heard before, and I actually saw a sign in a KW office which really surprised me. I actually seen this sign twice that took me off guard. Because what the broker said to me was this: we at KW are a coaching and training company disguised as a real estate organization. Now, if I was a real estate agent working for KW, that would make me nervous because I thought it was a real estate company. If you look at Brian, Tom, Craig, they're all very specific and seem to have a very defined purpose behind what they're trying to get you to do to build your business. KW takes a very much of a shotgun approach, which means, in essence, they collect material, package it under the KW brand, and offer it to their agents. It's generic because if you look at the variety of trainings they offer, it goes from holding an open house, developing a geographic farm, to building a team in another city across country. It's their approach, and it seems to work for them. The last would be the Mike Ferry approach to listing and selling real estate. You have to understand, it's a complicated yet simple job. It's simple, but it's not easy. If you're going to develop a long-term, highly productive and profitable business that has fair margins to you, the 21-point sales system we follow probably is the right process for you. Creating a productive schedule, lead generation, lead follow-up, pre-qualifying buyers and sellers, listing presentations showing property, handling objections, closing for signature, negotiating contracts, and starting over again every single day. Now, I have to tell you, if you look at what goes on today in real estate and you look at the number of seminars are being offered, you have Mike Ferry TV, you have almost every one of my competitors now have something like this that they offer you. If you're not confused, I'm shocked. And if you're going to go with one of these 5, stay with that one and don't vary from it. Now, I would also say to you, if you want to go to the original, stay here. If you want to go to one of the many copies, go out there. Or in essence, I'll say this to you. If you want to be with the best, you're looking at them now. If you want to go to the rest, turn the channel to theirs. See you next week.